It's so much fun hanging out with Colin Huwyler from Optimus Technologies. So glad, Colin, you are part of 40 Stories. Because over my 26 years at the Tech Council, you're probably one of the most tenacious people I've ever met. You've been building your company, it's been over 15 years now, right?
Just about, yeah. Founded in 2010.
2010, oh my, see, this is one of these things where we've seen you go through the ups and the downs of building your company, and you're on an up streak right now that we are just so excited about. So thanks for hanging out with me. I know you're a super busy guy, but I'm just so excited to tell a little bit of your story.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So first off, give us the elevator pitch for Optimus Technologies.
Yeah, so we build technology to decarbonize heavy-duty industrial assets. So predominantly focusing in transportation. So think Class 8 delivery trucks, garbage trucks, snowplows. Our technology bolts on to existing diesel engines, upgrades them, and enables them to achieve essentially zero carbon emissions. So we can get the equivalent carbon reduction that somebody would get out of an electric vehicle for near price parity on what you'd spend for a diesel vehicle without the required infrastructure build.
So I can tell you've pitched this before.
It's been a couple times.
Absolutely. I've always been so impressed with this technology because the fact that it's using a proven technology like diesel, which are ubiquitous. They're everywhere. They drive so much industry. And the fact that they emit as much pollution as they do, the fact that you have a solution that can get them running on clean bio, which is, to me, is just amazing.
That is one of the kind of unique advantages of the technology is it plugs into essentially the past 100 years that have been built and developed in terms of fuel distribution and engine technology, but then allows us to move forward in a way that achieves the carbon reductions that we absolutely need to see.
Absolutely. Very cool. I know people talk about I've seen people talk about some electric like garbage trucks and stuff like these types of vehicles. Like, I mean, the technology could be there at a point in time for electric to power these big things, but that might be a way off. And the fact that you have something that can actually work on them right now and it's approved in California, which is like, that's like the gold standard of having emissions equipment and things like that. Right?
So California, the California Air Resources Board, or CARB, which is the acronym, it is the tightest tolerance of regulatory for vehicles, for engines in the world, really. So we got an executive order approval earlier last year. So it was 2022 we achieved that. So.
That was like what kind of opened the doors, because at that point, when you're approved there, that means really customers can use it everywhere because they know it's going to be legal, right?
and we're starting to ship internationally, and when we talk to customers and regulatory agencies in other countries and they see the executive orders that have been issued by California, it makes that process a lot
simpler.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And this all kind of led up to, I mean, a big funding round for the company. Like I said, 15 years in the making to get to this point. That had to have been so exciting to know that you got money behind you, you got investors, that you got a runway now to really scale this thing.
Yeah. It's been a really long development cycle to get the technology where it needs to be. It's a lot of timing, market fit. There's just a much larger focus on sustainability and overall carbon reductions. And so earlier this year, we were able to close a $17.8 million Series A, led by Mitsui out of Japan, participation from a number of local investors and Chevron, their renewable energy group, and just a phenomenal set of partners and resources.
I'm just thinking about the connections that's going to bring to your company. You think of the Chevrons of the world. It's like, oh my goodness. That's why at the Tech Council, we were so excited for you when you got that news. We're like, oh, it's so exciting.
Yeah. Team has put in a ton of hard work to get us where we are, and it's been a great inflection point and a lot of growth ahead of us. Hiring, manufacturing, it's
all the good stuff.
Everybody, when you're on the other side of it, it's like, oh, we just need to get that. We just need to close the funding round, and that'll make everything easier. And then you do that, and your problems just amplify. And they're all really good challenges to have. And,
of course.
And
but still, they're challenges.
Super challenging, but lots of really unique.
Especially on the hiring side. I mean, you mentioned, I think you're trying to hire for like 14, 15 positions right now.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that's a lot of people to bring on. That's a cultural thing too. You're like, hey.
We're going through it right now. Yeah. When we closed the round, we were at 13 employees. We just just ended last week at 24. We've got another 15
plus to go
this year.
Goodness. So you'll be essentially almost like tripling your staff.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting. That's been probably one of the most interesting learning experiences. Is just finding, hiring, building a team that is aligned with our mission and purpose, is a driven team, but also doing it rapidly. I mean,
Exactly.
every month we go that we don't have the staff that
you're losing time.
Projected.
Yeah,
we had.
exactly.
It's a little bit of a catch up, but then we don't want to make we're trying to build the team very intentionally. So
of course, yeah, but you got to do it fast.
Right.
So I'll be intentionally fast.
Right.
Do this.
It's definitely, there's a multi-variable equation there you're trying to balance to get the right fit and build.
I think back to the days when you started this. You were a grad student, right?
Undergrad.
So you were an undergrad when you started this thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness. So you've been through the whole scale of this thing. I know for the entire time you've always been a member of the Pittsburgh Tech Council, which to us has meant so much to us because you're like trusting us and helping you because that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
So what would you say is one of the key reasons why you've stuck with the Tech Council over the past?
I mean, I think what the Tech Council provides to the Pittsburgh region and broader, one of the things that we leveraged early on and continue to see value in is the relationships and the network and the access.
Cool.
I mean, it's
that's what we were about.
Appreciate
that. That's what we're trying to do is get our networks to become part of your networks and make those connections, help you hire those people and all that kind of fun stuff. So as we've been celebrating 40 years, we're not looking back. We're looking ahead. We're looking at 40 years out. And I know 40 years is just like, well, who knows? But the future of tech, I mean, obviously, where do you see that going here? Not just in Pittsburgh, but around the world, and especially in the arena that you play in, which is just so important right now. I mean, everyone's looking at climate change and decarbonization, and you've got this solution that's really addressing parts of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a fundamental transformation that's happening right now in the world of technology, in the world of transportation, but also there's a reason that diesel engines have been the backbone of the global economy for 100 years.
The workhorse,
I mean, it's whether it's shipping, rail, essentially jet fuel is a deviation of diesel. Trucking, it's the whole world is powered by diesel, and in the next 40 years, I think realistically we don't have 40 years to wait for that transition to occur, and that's where technologies like ours and hopefully others will all be able to come together and supplement. And my goal, my hope is that in 40 years, diesel is a concept. It's not a traditional petroleum diesel fuel is not a thing anymore. So
that's amazing. Very, very cool. I know. I think about like over the past 15-year journey, you were like one of these companies where you were almost too ahead of your time, but you were able to stay scrappy and keep moving to where these things kind of came together, where it's like this is the time for these solutions, and so it really brought what you're doing to light as something that has to happen now. So I'm like,
it is absolutely the case that we've been fortunate and scrappy enough to exist long enough to get kind of the product market timing fit correct.
It goes back to what I say, man. You're tenacious. It's as simple as that. Your team's tenacious. You have stuck with it, and I can only predict really good things. So I'll leave it at that. And Colin, I know you're super busy, so I will let you go. You got to hire some people.
Absolutely.
You got some resumes back on your desk. So Colin, thanks again. You're the best.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
It.